Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice. Today we're going to move through a full body yin practice. So as you can see, I've got my props, so a bolster and a blanket. Now, if you don't have these yoga props, just find something, towels, cushions, blankets, whatever it is, just to help support and bring some comfort and warmth to the body. We're going to begin today in reclined butterfly. So coming to lie on the back. Now it can be nice to have some props underneath the knees. So whether it's the bolster or maybe some rolled up towels or blankets. And then positioning something just to catch and support the back of the head. So soles of feet together, knees drop out wide. And as always, when you're moving into a new shape, just take your time to set up, don't rush. We rush too much in life. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra support, if you need to adjust in any way, always feel free to do this. Take really good care of yourself. You might like to have the hands alongside the body. You might like the hands on the body, whatever feels right. Closing down the eyes or choosing a steady point of gaze. And just beginning with a couple of full deep breaths. Might feel good to open up the mouth. You might like to sigh the air out. And just letting that be the moment that you arrive. Landing physically in your space. Trying to let go of whatever might be going on for you at the moment. Releasing your day, your work. And really giving yourself this time for you to be still. To have some peace. Connecting in with your body. With your mind, with your heart. And just noticing if you can sense any tension. Whether it's a physical sensation. Perhaps it's in the mind, or it's just an energy that you've been carrying with you recently. Can you allow the awareness and the breath, and in particular the exhaling part of the breath, to be an opportunity to let go, to soften, to relax. And really relaxing and letting go is at the heart the yoga practice. Such a big element of what we're doing here is starting to really look within and explore and investigate what causes that tension and tightness within us. What is it holding us back? And in the yoga teachings, one of our biggest obstacles as human beings is that we're always trying to control. We're trying to force, we're trying to manipulate, whether it's a particular situation, a relationship, an outcome. And we can get so caught up in trying to make our life work out in such a perfect way. We put all of our efforts and our attention into making things exactly as we think we want them. Perhaps you can recognize that tendency within you. Maybe there is something going on for you at the moment that sounds a little familiar. Now, when we explore these teachings, it's not an opportunity to be hard on ourselves, to judge or to criticize. But the more that we become aware of these habits and patterns, the more opportunity there is to let go. Because ultimately there is so much in our life that we cannot control. And our practice is really encouraging us to surrender to that. And even though it can feel scary and stressful, it can also be incredibly exciting. To know that there's so much to discover, there's so much mystery to life. And we're here to really enjoy the experience. And so just letting the practice today be a moment to reflect on that. Maybe there is something that you are ready to let go of, a habit, a tendency of yours. Maybe there is something going on for you at the moment that you need to loosen that grip with. And just letting your practice today be a moment to relax. Relax the body, relax the mind, relax the heart. Couple more breaths. And then just wriggling the fingers and the toes. You might like to take a stretch. And the good news is we're going to stay lying on the back pretty much for all of this class. So we're going to move into a side bend. So if you just gently move your props from underneath your knees, you can just slide them off to the side, you might need them. And just moving into a side stretch, or sometimes this is referred to as banana. So you're going to walk your feet over towards the left side. Try not to let your right glute lift away from the ground, and you might like to cross your right leg over your left leg. And then arms are alongside the ears, and then just start to move the torso over towards the left side. And hopefully you can just notice a really nice stretch through the right side of the body. If you notice that your hip is trying to lift up, you can use your props on your hips just to create a little bit more grounding. Feel free to wriggle, adjust, do what you need to do. And then just let yourself settle. As best as you can, relaxing the body. The mind, and just being with your breath. And you don't have to breathe in a particular way, but focusing on the breath can just help bring us to that place of stillness and calm. Last few breaths here. And then slowly unravel the legs. And just walking your arms and your legs back to center. It can just be nice to take a couple of breaths here. Just let that settle in on your right side. And then switching sides. This time you're walking your feet over towards the right side. Again, try not to let your left glute lift up, and then maybe you're hooking your left ankle over your right ankle. And then moving your arms and your head a little bit over to the right side. Feel free to just position or reposition that prop if you need. And trying not to let yourself be in these shapes and letting the mind run wild. Start to be more aware if the thoughts start planning, trying to work things out, and if you catch yourself, just let yourself relax. Let yourself let go. Just letting yourself be here. Letting yourself enjoy being here. Last few breaths. And then carefully coming back to center. And you might like just to slide the prop off of your hips. And just letting that settle in. Then between the shapes, you might just like to be still. You might like a little bit of movement. Just no jumping around. So windshield wipe can feel really nice after that. So bending the knees and just letting the knees drop from side to side. If you want cat-cow, downward dog, child's pose. Just listening to your body. And just doing your best to just surrender to being here. To the stillness, to the quiet. Then we're going to roll over onto the abdomen and set up into Sphinx. Now you can have this Sphinx pose as active or as not active as feels right for you. So you might just like to have your forearms on the ground. Now your feet come out about that distance apart. If you want a little bit more of a resting variation, you could just let your forehead come onto your bolster or your blocks or whatever you might have. If you want something a little stronger, you might like to have the bolster underneath the forearms. That's just going to lift a little bit more, work a little bit more into the back. Or if you want a little bit more support whilst being higher up, you could have the bolster underneath your chest, so your forearms come on the floor ahead of your bolster. So a couple of different options there. So feel free to try out whatever works for you. You can move your forearms forward or back. If you haven't got your head resting, it might feel good to have the head leaning back. It can feel nice to drop the head. And again, just relaxing the body. The mind. Now, if Sphinx feels like it's enough for you, just stay here. If you want to come into Seal, turn your hands out, palms press on the ground. You're pushing your hands down to lift your elbows. If you want to feel a little bit more, you just walk your hands back. If you want to feel a little bit less, you just walk your hands forward. And if you regret your Seal decision, you can change your mind, so you can come back down into Sphinx. Keep the belly pulling in. And you're going to start to feel it in your lower back. If it gets too much, listen to that. Last few breaths. And then slowly, slowly, slowly come down onto your forearms. Slide your props away. And then just gently lay your body back down to the ground. If you want to release the back, just pull the tailbone long and pull the belly in. And that can just help stretch and release those muscles through the low back. Maybe just like some gentle rocks from side to side. And try to let yourself enjoy that feeling of letting go. Whether it is of a physical sensation in the body, or a thought, planning in the mind. That moment can feel so freeing, so spacious. Now you can just roll over and lie onto your back. If you want to stretch into a child's pose or a downward facing dog, feel very free to do so. It can feel nice just to wriggle a little bit through the hips, through the heels. A couple of cracks from me. And then we're going to come into supine twist. So lying down on your back, having the bolster to the left side of the body. Now I always like to support my head, so just using that blanket there can be nice. I have a little sensitive head, I reckon. So bending the right knee and letting your left leg be long. And then you're going to twist to the left side to begin with, or just turn to the left side and really try and rest your knee, your leg, your foot on that prop. And then you will twist back open towards the right side. Wriggle, adjust, do what you need to do. It's so common as a human being to think that the point of our life is to get it all together. to make our life look or be or feel a certain way, whether it's our jobs, our careers, our relationships, our family, our money, whatever it is. And we tell ourselves, if I can just get it all like this, then everything will be all right. I'll be happy. And so we strive and we push and we force. And when we live like this, we often forget to actually enjoy what we're doing. We forget that we're here to experience life. Having goals, there's nothing wrong with that. We need that. We need drive. But if we can't enjoy each moment on the journey, then why are we doing it? We're not here to just achieve, we're here to live. And then gently come back to center. Bring both feet down. Just let both legs be long for a moment. And then switching sides. So bring the bolster to the right side. Bend the left knee. Bring the knee all the way over to the right side. And then twist and open to the left side. And there is a teaching in Buddhism that reminds us of how life really works. And it's a reminder that we're often setting ourselves up for huge disappointment. Because really, how our life moves or flows is that things will come together for a little bit. They'll feel good, and then they'll fall apart. And then things will come together again and feel good, and then they'll fall apart. And there's nothing that we can do to change that, because things are always changing. And the more that we try to control and force and have it all together all of the time, the more we're going to suffer. And so the more that we can let go, the more that we can surrender. This doesn't mean letting go of hopes and dreams and plans. But if we just loosen the grip a little, we're able to move with life as it comes together and falls apart, that's when we feel really free. We can take in those amazing moments and we can just move through those challenging moments. Gently draw the knee back to the center and let the legs be long. We'll finish with Shavasana. If you'd like to practice legs up the wall or legs up the chair or the bed or whatever it is, feel very free. If you're coming into Shavasana with me, it can be nice to have some props underneath the knees to support the back, making sure that you feel warm and comfortable and supported. Before we rest, just practicing tensing and releasing the body. So start to squeeze your toes, your feet, squeeze your calves, your knees, your quads, squeeze your glutes, your hands, your arms, your stomach, your chest, your shoulders. Tense your face, tense the body as much as you can. Tense, 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 tense. And then release. And let yourself rest. If you have the time to be here, let yourself rest a little longer. Otherwise, wriggling the fingers and the toes. Reaching the arms over the head if it feels good. Bending the knees. Rolling to one side. And lifting yourself up to sit. And just take a moment of pause. Notice any shifts, sensations, insights from your practice. And really notice how it feels to let go. Pressing the palms together at the heart and just acknowledging your effort and your curiosity for being here today. Drawing the chin to the chest, bowing the head down to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice. I hope you enjoyed this class. Any questions, any comments, let me know. See you soon.